Hi, CabraSye here. Today we're doing Prettyrevenge. It's Reddit's turn, so let's see what everyone has to say on this board. Let's get right into it. Let's not keep you waiting too long. Come on. First off, we have a very short one. It's called Phone Scammer. So I had a call from Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express just now. I pressed 1 and waited patiently for the guy to get on the phone. When he did, I spoke very softly. He asked me to speak up. I explained that I have laryngitis and this is as loud as I can speak. He said, "Wait while I turn up my volume." I spoke softly again and asked if he could hear me now. He explained that he could. I absolutely screamed in his ear, "Stop trying to fucking scam people." I heard him say, "Motherfucker," as he disconnected me. Totally cathartic. That was a pretty good one. You know, sometimes people could be buttheads and stuff. So yeah, I think that was alright. Good start, I guess. Yeah, I think so. Come on. Ooh, this one's about a Karen. Let's see. Titled, I made a Karen drive 50 miles to get a refund. Before I start, for some background, I work at a customer service as a department lead, and I'll say my hardware store practices the rule that says we reserve the right to refuse and limit any returns for any reason, very often. With that being said, a Karen slithered into my store with a water heater that was around $800. She hissed at us. I want to return it, and I asked if she had a receipt. She asked why does she need one, and I said to do the refund since it was over $50. We would sure need proof of purchase. She groaned and dug around in her purse and called me a moron and etc. She was already rude for no apparent reason. I was kind of already in a pissy mood that day, so I decided I'd have some fun with her being an asshole by being an asshole back to her. When she presented the receipt, I looked at the receipt to find any possible reason to deny her return and saw it. It was bought at a store 50 miles away. With items that expensive, we normally ask the customer to return it to point of sale. So I told her, you can return this item at this store. You need to return this item at the point of sale, which is the blah 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 store. When she heard this, she hissed at me and in anger something to that effect of, "No, I want to return it here. I am not driving that far for a refund." She proceeded to yell at me and my associates further, calling us rather offensive names and whatnot, until she asked for a manager, so I got one. But I made sure to call my manager who has the same mindset of denying returns just like me. When my boss came, he saw what was going on and he was on my side. He told her the same thing I said and she cursed us all out and slithered off to hell. As soon as she went off to the parking lot, we all began to laugh. Hey, anytime Karen's involved, 100% and with y'all when anytime a Karen is involved. Yeah, F that lady, man. Freaking stupid. Let's see. Coworker claims my work as her own. Guess she loses all her work. My coworker L is known for being rude to guests, other coworkers, and people in general. I work in a restaurant. My managers have every waiter, waitress roll a certain amount of silverware before they are allowed to clock out. Rolling silverware is basically putting a knife, fork, and spoon in a napkin and rolling the napkin around it so you can get silverware burrito. Sometimes when there isn't enough to do, one of the hostesses will be sent to the back to roll silverware. I was the unlucky one and was sent back to roll for 2 hours. I had rolled a decent pile, about 6 or 7, when L says I'm gonna take these because I already rolled some, and takes my silverware to her pan. I was chill with it because the servers had to roll silverware whilst hostesses did not. A few minutes later, when I had about 10 pieces of silverware rolled, L came over and grabbed it without saying anything, not a thank you or may I, nothing. I was pissed. I knew it didn't hurt me, but she could have at least asked or said thanks, so I hatched a plan. I rolled 20 more pieces of silverware and put them in her pan, filling it up. Then when nobody was looking, I took the silverware up front and delivered it to the hostesses. The silverware pans usually had a paper with the name of the person who rolled it, but this one didn't, so nobody could take credit for it. I waited until she noticed it was gone. She started cussing and questioning everybody. Elle came up and said, "Do you know who took my pan?" in the most annoyed voice. And I, the pure innocent hostess, simply said, "No, I was here rolling silverware. I didn't see a thing." Yeah, I mean, if they're going to take your credit. Alright, this one's called Spicy Revenge on My Friend. This is just simple and funny. Before the revenge happened, a close friend of mine decided to interrupt me while I was playing some League of Legends. Rank in that matter. Interrupting I meant by her trying to constantly press the flash spell button. Of course, with her constantly trying to press it and blocking her hand, I kinda let the game down the drain almost in an instant. I kinda gave up on the match and saw my future a defeat. She apologized after I lost. I said it was fine, but boy, she was hella wrong. My friend likes to follow trends that has been going around in the internet, and that includes eating the so-called spiciest noodle in Malaysia. She loves to watch YouTuber gamers play short indie horror games, so I planned my revenge later on. I bought the noodle at some 7-Eleven convenience store. Some of the outlets don't have them since it's limited stock, so it's kind of hard for her to find it. Gave her a surprise gift. I let her cook the noodle and brought the steaming hot spicy bowl of noodle back into her room to enjoy while watching some vids. Let her eat in peace for a while before timing my revenge at the right moment. I came right behind her and screamed at her right beside her ear. She wasn't wearing any earphones headset. She kind of choked midway, sucking the noodles in. Her eyes immediately starts to tear up and her face becomes red as the soup. that's kind of messed up. To be honest, I felt bad doing that to her because I knew choking on spicy food can really F your nose up, yep, and throw it up, but at the same time I loved it. That's kind of messed up, yeah. Ooh. So anytime spiciness just like, oh, gets stuck up there, ooh, yeah. Hey, she shouldn't have messed with your game. A little excessive, but hey, whatever, you know. This one's called, Oh, You Love Me? That's a Waste of Time. This is my first actual story for Reddit, and I apologize if the formatting is off. I still haven't completely figured out this app. I promise the story is worth the read, but if it's not for you, then there is a TLDR at the bottom. I am young, dumb, and in the military. I decided to marry my Air Force Tech School sweetheart because that's what young, dumb members of the military do. Shit hit the fan quite fast. Honestly, he would drink a lot, call me awful names, and overall just abuse me emotionally. After trying out living with him for a while near his base, I decided I couldn't do it anymore. Everything I had gone through was incredibly depressing and emotionally exhausting. I became a bit numb to him and everything else because of how depressed I had been. I decided to move back to my home state after enduring the longest 6 months I have ever gone through. Disclaimer: I was still am in the Air Force National Guard, but was living at my husband's active duty base in another state. I am not active duty, so I would visit my home state once a month for my duty weekend only, and then return back to the state my husband was stationed in where we lived right after my duty weekend. Since moving home, things had been transitioned fairly smoothly. I have slowly but surely been getting over my depression caused by the situation. I do have to say that my mistake is that I still continue to talk to him because he is watching my cats until I can move into my own place. I feel obligated because he does not want to watch them for me, and I always threatens to take them back to the shelter. When he texts me about how we should do marriage counseling, etc., and how we should try and make things work, I always respond not with what he wants to hear, but I end up giving him what he wants, which is a response. I believe he does this to keep me connected to him. I honestly got curious as to if my husband talks to other women. He downloaded Tinder while we were fine, not talking about divorce, etc. I hated the fact that he might still be stringing me along because for some odd reason, it's not just obligation to respond for the sake of my cats, but also because I miss talking to him, the good side of him. I felt like it was wrong for him to string me along while also talking to other women. I decided to do some investigative work. I downloaded a text-free app and texted him as a girl he had previously while we were not talking about divorce and we were going fine, I guess you could call it that, matched with one on Tinder. We will refer to my fake alter ego as Tinder Girl or TG. TG to my husband: Hi, I am curious if you wanted to go out for dinner later. With smiley face. My husband: Hey, I'm sorry I can't tonight, but hopefully in the future. TG: Oh, okay, this is TG. If you don't remember me, I deleted my Tinder. Husband, for the next consecutive 3 days, to TG: Hey, what you doing tonight? No response from TG all week. I didn't feel like messaging him back as her. I mostly wanted to see if he was talking to girls going on dates. The week went on, and then came Saturday. Husband to TG: Want to go out to the art museum with me tonight? TG: I would love to. What time? Husband: About 1? TG: That sounds good to me. Husband: Alright, sounds good. There was literally 1 minute between timestamps from the time he messaged TG back and finished making plans with her to the time he texted me as me and said, Love you, blank. Hope you're having a good day today. Before this had happened, I felt maybe what I was about to do was morally wrong and was going to cancel plans with him as TG because I wanted to slightly let him down because I was let down by the fact that he was trying to plan dates with other girls while talking to me. I had had a bad week because of just how emotionally draining our conversations over text had been, and the fact that he texted me that he loved me right after making plans with TG was the last straw. I decided to go through with my plan. 12 p.m. hits. Husband to TG. I'm going to go ahead and leave now. TG, alright. I am 10 minutes away, so text me when you are close and also let me know where you park. Husband, sounds good. 4 minutes pass. Husband arrives at the museum. Husband to TG. Hey, just got here. TG. Nothing. 30 minutes passes. Husband, everything okay? This is where I parked. Insert picture of husband, picture blah blah blah. TG, in an effort to keep wasting his time, hey, sorry, I'm running a bit behind. Husband, oh, it's okay, I'll wait for you. Just let me know where you park. TG, another 30 minutes pass. Husband, sorry to bother you, but any updates? TG, in an effort to waste more time, hey, sorry, just got stuck in traffic. Husband, oh, okay, well, let me know. Still waiting on you. TG, 20 minutes pass by. Husband, are you alright? TG, yes, I'm about 15 minutes away. Husband, okay, well, I think I will get out of the car and head in now. There's a little cafe inside. I will just wait for you there. Insert picture of him, blah, 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 blah. Another 45 minutes goes by. Jesus. Knowing my husband, he probably felt like he was being incredibly annoying after asking the girl so many times what was going on. Husband, are you still coming? Husband, sorry to bother you, just curious. Husband, no worries if it is a no, I just appreciate a heads up. TG. Nothing. To make this incredibly long story the shortest version of itself, I wasted about 3 hours of my soon-to-be ex-husband's time on a day he had off. Tinder girl ghosted him, and my husband never tried to contact her again after she completely wasted his time. While he was at the art museum being stood up by the phony Tinder girl, I was having a good time eating a big fat bowl of chili with my family. Needless to say, my food settled extremely well that day. One last disclaimer. I knew this girl's name because a notification popped up on his phone from Tinder, so yes, I will admit, I looked at his phone while he was sleeping when we were still together. He never got the girl's number, but he was pretty bad alcoholic before he got back from rehab and would have blacked out constantly. So I'm assuming he figured he got her number, deleted messages, etc. while he was blacked out drunk, and this is why I believe he never questioned why TG texted him and why I was able to get away with it. If this isn't the reason why he didn't question it, it's probably because he just didn't care enough. That was a good story. Nothing worse than having your time wasted. Nothing worse. Okay, this one's titled, A Girl Asked Me to Help Her Out and She Tried to Take Advantage, so I Took Revenge. Background. I'm currently between apartments. It's difficult finding places to live where I am. A roommate is a must unless you are well off. I have been crashing on friends' couches in the meantime. I am helping out where I can when I do. But at the very least, my money has been going towards saving for the expenses of a new place and paying off my friends that are kind enough to let me crash at their places. A coworker introduced me to a girl forever ago and thought her and I would hit it off pretty well. I don't normally do blind dates, but whatever. It didn't go so well. She says she was just looking for friends and not someone to date. She tried to get me to sign up to a really expensive fitness club with her too, so I just stopped talking to her. We can call her S. I get a text from S, hey, still looking for a place? I am, so I say yes, and she gives me a time and place to meet. And I assume that was for a potential apartment and go back to work, and then I get another text from the same person and she asked me to meet her when I get off work at a different location. I agree and again go back to work and do not think about it. When I get off work, the place we were meeting at was closing and she was running late. When she does get there, she asks if I'm hungry and want to grab food. I was starving, so I said sure. We go to a place around the corner, we walk in and I go sit at the chair and she asked me to sit next to her on the booth in a very flirtatious way. I thought this was weird because this wasn't a date, and she made it very clear the first time she isn't interested in dating me. She asks if I want to split something. I tell her I'm starving and would rather have a full thing, but I'm willing to share. She asks if I can cover her part of the bill before she ordered. She didn't have money. She should have said that from the start, but she was the one that suggested we grab food. I'm fine with covering the bill. It wasn't an expensive place anyway. While we were waiting for our food and eating, all her questions felt very disingenuous. It was like she asked me, but she didn't care what my answer was. She just wanted me to say, what about you? She talked about her pregnant girlfriend, update, found out from our mutual friend that they aren't dating, and kept going back to how hard it is to take care of her. Every time I tried to change the subject, I would come up like she wanted me to offer help. I'm not really in the position to offer help, so I keep playing dumb, waiting for her to bring up the apartment. I thought I was here to talk it out. We finish our food and then she asked me to move outside with her so she can talk. She says there are two things when she wants me to meet her at her place on Monday for something she can tell me about. Earlier that night, on the walk to the restaurant, she said she got into selling insurance, so I know what about money is now. What the f? Okay, the second thing, she brought up her pregnant girlfriend again, and D, this time she asked if I can help her buy groceries. I say, sure, we can stop by at an ATM now, I'll get you some cash. Then she starts acting seductive again and says she wants me to go with her. I finally tell her she needs to drop the act if she wants me to help her out. It was making me feel like a predator. I tell her I'm a nice guy and I help out my friends when they need it, and confirm that we were just friends. We go to the store, she tried to grab a cart and I said it wasn't necessary and that we were just picking up the basics. She grabbed a basket instead but made me carry it. Okay, whatever. Then we got to the next item on her list. Bread seems reasonable. She grabbed a $12 loaf of bread, and when she tried to justify it was because she likes the brand, I was expecting maybe she had a health problem or something, anything better than the preference. This was when I gave up on actual help and my petty revenge starts. I just want to make it clear, I'm only covering the basics, I said. She nodded. I let her load up the basket and then grab a cart and loaded that up too. I kept up the nice guy act the whole way. I let her think she was playing me like a fiddle. I would throw in backhanded comments. She grabbed a bottle of wine saying she liked to cook with wine sometimes. Oh, of course you do. Finally, we get to the checkout line and there was at least $200 in groceries in the cart. We waited in line for a while. The whole time we were shopping together, she mostly talked about herself, and I heard her say, pregnant girlfriend doesn't understand how much I do for her. She said it at least 6 times in the store. Each time it became harder and harder to keep my poker face. We finally get to the front line and I give her a $20 bill. This should cover the basics, I said, and walked away. I put my headphones trying not to look back, but I wanted to see her face so bad. Oh my god. Okay, update. Since I was editing for formatting anyway, I figured I should also add that she texted me on Monday to ask why I didn't show up for the life insurance meeting, and then again to ask what I was doing today. And I also told my mutual friend about the incident, and he said she met a guy named Blah who she treated this was, but he actually went with it. Yeah, the grammar was a little off on this one, but yeah, I like the story too. That's yeah, she's gonna treat you like a jerk, take you for a jerk, and then yeah, that's a pretty good one. I like that one too. So I hope you enjoyed that. CabraSye here one more time. If you liked it, you know, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.